Nigeria.
The three-time champions, Nigeria, 1998 runners-up here in Morocco and runners-up in the last AFCON in Cote d'Ivoire. Nigeria will be aiming for a fourth title in Group C, where they'll be joined by Tunisia, Uganda, and Tanzania.
All right. So the table is set for the next African Cup of Nations, which will be hosted in Morocco this December. 24 teams will be participating, and we got 6 groups consisting of 4 teams each. Now, the Super Eagles of Nigeria are grouped alongside Tunisia, Uganda, and Tanzania. And in my opinion, when it comes to the strength of group, I don't think there's any group that's so much stronger than the other groups, or is there any group that's so much weaker than the other groups. This is a pretty balanced competition right here. All 6 groups look like they're going to be a dogfight. All 6 groups look like it's not going to be just an easy walkthrough. So you got to give the organizers credit for this one right here. You start from Group A. You got Morocco, you got Mali, you got Zambia, and Comoros. I believe Mali made it to the quarterfinals of the last AFCON. Of course, they were coached by our former head coach. Not our former, our new head coach, my bad. Eric Shell was the head coach of Mali. Then we know what Morocco's bringing to the table. Zambia, of course, a pretty tough side. Comoros, a team that has been on the come up lately. They've given a whole bunch of big teams some pretty tough matches. So I don't think that is an easy group whatsoever. Then you move to Group B, Egypt. Of course, Egypt have one of the best players on the planet in Mo Salah. Egypt is always Egypt. They do have Al Hali. They do have Zamalek. Good crop of local players to pick from for the national team. And they still have some other guys doing their things abroad. So Egypt definitely a tough cookie to crack. You got South Africa and Angola. They reached both of them reached the quarterfinals. Of course, South Africa reached the semifinals and the third place match of the last AFCON. But then you got Zimbabwe. And I feel like with Zimbabwe, it's more about what Zimbabwe is going to show up on the day, because you got one version that is really good. The team that we faced in the World Cup qualifiers, I still say that draw, we have to credit somebody for getting that draw, because I felt like they should have beat us in that game. That's just me keeping it real. Then you got other times Zimbabwe just look like they don't know what's going on. So it just depends with what version of Zimbabwe comes to the African Cup of Nations. And then we get to Group C. And I know some people will be looking at me strange when I say that this is a tough group just like the other groups. Mainly because you look at Uganda, Tanzania, Tunisia. These are not the sexy names in African football. But I'm telling you that all 3 teams are going to be tough teams. I'm not saying they're going to beat the Super Eagles. I'm not saying they're going to get a result from the Super Eagles. But I'm saying that you will have to focus and you will have to play like everything depends on it to beat these teams. Because if you're coming into these games thinking that the 3 points are already in the bag, that's going to be a big mistake. That's going to be a very big mistake. Of course, Tunisia, we know about Tunisia already. Kind of the same mistake we made a couple of AFCONs ago going into that round of 16 matchup against Tunisia. And we saw what we got for that, a 1-0 loss. So we definitely have to take all 3 of these teams seriously. I feel like them using a good number of home-based players in their team kind of gives them a leg up, because you have players that are going to be together for much more longer than a team like Nigeria, who's bringing players from Europe and they just have 2 weeks together. You probably have had months together. So that's definitely going to be a plus for them. Then you move on to Group D. You got Senegal, you got DR Congo, Benin Republic, and Botswana. On paper, of course, you would think that Senegal and DR Congo would be the 2 teams going through in this group. But don't look down on Benin Republic and Botswana. Of course, we've seen what Benin Republic can do playing against the Super Eagles. They've gotten results against the Super Eagles. So you definitely expect that they'll at least not get blown out by any of these teams. And Botswana also, they've been getting some good results lately, so you definitely can't look over them. Then you go to Group E: Algeria, Burkina Faso, Equatorial Guinea, and Sudan. Of course, Algeria cream of the crop in this group. Burkina Faso, I feel like Algeria and Burkina Faso are going to come out this group. Don't look down on Equatorial Guinea either, or Sudan. Sudan is partly responsible for Ghana not being in this AFCON, so you definitely can't take them lightly going into that group. And then you get to the final group, Group F. You got Ivory Coast, Cameroon, Gabon, and Mozambique. So definitely another tough group right here. Of course, Ivory Coast and Cameroon will be the two teams everybody is looking at. But you definitely can't underrate Gabon. They made it out the group stage in the last AFCON. Looked real good doing it. They look like a real good side. And of course, they'll be improving in the meanwhile. So that's definitely going to be a tough test. Mozambique, we played Mozambique in a friendly. I've seen them in a couple of other matches. They've been improving. They can score. They can play some good football. Defensively might be the challenge, might be the issue, but I see a team that is improving. I see a team that from match to match, you can actually see things that they're doing better. So this is definitely not a pushover right here. But let me know your thoughts on the draw. Morocco 25, African Cup of Nations. The Super Eagles are grouped alongside Tunisia, Uganda, and Tanzania. Let me know your thoughts on that one in the comment section. And please don't forget to like this video, share, subscribe. Thank y'all for watching. Peace.